The competence card game is meant to explore the 20 competences for democratic culture. In each round, we will have a storyteller that describes a short, real, or fictional situation in which competences of democratic culture are required. For a game of 4 players, we will need the following material: 4 decks of 20 competence cards, 1 deck per player, 4 role cards. We will have 1 storyteller who will become an evaluator later, 1 proposer, and 2 evaluator cards for the remaining players. Beside this, we will also have a scoring card. On each card, you will find a brief description of a competence, indicating also if it is a value, attitude, skill, or knowledge and critical understanding. All cards have a QR code on their backside directing towards the description of the 20 competences for democratic culture in English. Now let's get to the game setup. Each of the players gets a card, shuffles it, and places the deck face down in front of them, showing their player symbol. There are 7 symbols in total, but for this game we will only use 4. Every card deck consists of 20 cards, one of each of the 20 competences for democratic culture. Players randomly receive a role card, 1 storyteller or evaluator, 1 proposer, and evaluator card for everyone else, and place it face up in front of them. The scoring card is placed in the middle of the table. Make sure that every player scans the QR code on the backside of a card so they can read through the brief description of the competences in the reference framework of competences for democratic culture. Now let's go through an explicative game round. Every game round consists of 4 consecutive steps. Storytelling. The player with the role card storyteller describes a short, real, or fictional situation in which competences of democratic culture are required. For example, I can't wait to turn 18 because I will finally get the right to vote. In this example, participating in elections requires civic mindedness to take part in the process, but also valuing democracy, justice, fairness, equality, and the rule of law, and responsibility. This means that the proposer will choose 3 cards and place these face down on the table. But keep the cards secret. Don't name the competences. Then the other players, including the storyteller, shuffle their card deck and randomly give the proposer 1 card in a way that no player knows the competences on them, so face down. At this point, there are 6 cards on the table, the 3 cards chosen by the proposer, and 1 card per other player. The proposer takes all these cards and shuffles them face down under the table. Then the cards are placed face up in a row on the table so that all players can read the competences. Now all players with an evaluator role card, including the storyteller, look at the displayed competence cards and discuss which competences correspond best to the storyteller's situation. Their goal is to identify as many as possible of the proposer's cards while avoiding cards that the proposer did not select. The evaluators may choose any number of cards and mark them by sliding them out of the card row. When the players agree that they finished with the evaluation, the cards are flipped to their backside. The cards in the proposer's symbol are the correct guesses, while the cards in the other player's symbol are incorrect guesses. All the correctly guessed cards are placed left next to the scoring card. Every card there is worth 1 victory point. All incorrectly guessed cards are placed right next to the scoring card and count 1 negative victory point each. Leave the cards placed on the right and left sides of the scoring card there, so the players do not take back their cards. In this case, the correctly guessed cards will be civic mindedness, responsibility, and valuing democracy, justice, fairness, equality, and the rule of law. All played cards that were not chosen by the evaluators are removed from the game, then rotate the roll cards clockwise and start a new game round. The team receives 1 victory point for every card on the victory point side and -1 victory point for every card on the game end side. The difference is in the team's score. The game can end after a certain number of cards on the right side or after the first player runs out of cards. We recommend the following end of game condition. The game ends when 10 cards lie on the right side next to the scoring card, but you can always adapt this condition. Thank you for following this video and have a great session of playing.